Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Shop Talk. I've got another project here. This particular boat is a 23-inch fiberglass V-hull mono, and I've had this boat for probably, I don't know, 10 years or more, I guess. It came from a company called Blue Bayou, like B-L-E-W, Blue Bayou. And it was originally sent to me as a gas-powered. I hence have removed the motor mount and everything. I never ran it on gas. In fact, I've only ran it on electric. This is a 2958. I think it's a 3480, I believe it is. So it's really an interesting boat. It's been through so many different changes. I've had so many holes in the back I had to fix, trying different things. But this is what I've come up with. It's running a Flycolor 90, and it's got the motor mount glued in and all that. I should have moved the motor a little farther forward. The CG is such that where I have the hefty batteries way up at the front. Not a good choice, but it is what it is. I suppose I could move the servo at some later point and put it here and put the receiver up there, and that might help. We've got some pretty lightweight hardware. So I added some trim tabs. It was I ran it with a 4480 kV, and it was so squirrely you couldn't control it. The maximum batteries I use are 3-cell, but it runs really good on 2-cell. So that's kind of why I put this together. These are actually TFL turn fins, and it's a generic off of Amazon / you can get them on other sites for this strut stinger. So here's one of the things I wanted to show you. Is this is the original stinger, the way it comes to you. It's normally, I've discussed this on another video, but it had 4mm bushings in there. So what I do is I knock out the 4mm bushings. I drill this piece out. It's perfectly flat, 90 degrees, so you have a 90 degree here. On my drill press, I drill out with a really good bit. I drill it out to 1/4 inch, and then I can take Octura or any other 3/16 bushings and pound them in. So you have to have one about here, and then you have to leave a space, and you put the other one about right there. So there's a gap in the middle between them, and that'll hold some grease and help cooling. And as you can see, the reason I brought this one out is you can see I have shortened the strut or stinger that's on the boat, and I shortened it that much, which is quite a bit. I felt that was part of the handling problem, is it stuck out so far, and anytime you move the propeller away from the transom, you're gaining leverage as well. So any settings you make are multiplied because of the settings and the leverage. So did that. This is just a generic rudder. This is rudder piece. I needed to extend it from what you can buy these whole complete rudders for. The rudder piece was too short, so I actually made my own. I lightened it with a lightning hole, and that's why that's in there. So it's a pretty good setup for most things. One of the things I also just came up with now is these are my 3-cell batteries that I've run in my my little outrigger, Bullet Racing, and if I put Velcro on these batteries for this boat, they're very difficult to get in the other boat because they're shorty batteries. They're just a smidge taller than the regular 2200s. I can still get them in the outrigger, but it's really tight. So I thought, well, maybe I could glue like these little straps I have in this boat, and then I could just strap them. But then I saw that I was testing it, and I've got the soft Velcro on the battery, so now all I have to do is I can just stick them right in there, and they're already Velcroed in there. So that worked out pretty good, if I do say so. But I should change this connector to a XT60, but I am running the 90 on this particular XT90s, and then I have an adapter. I run these in parallel for you know, gives you 4,400, so it's got a pretty decent run time. The boat runs really well. I finally got it dialed in with the settings and everything, and this is just a plastic lid, so it's a little bit tough, but that's kind of the boat. It's a pretty slick, sleek boat. I did have the water exit up here, but as you can see, it was a problem with the batteries because that water exit is way up here, so that would have been right in line with the batteries, so I ended up moving it back, and that was a good choice. So a lot of things to look at when you're putting a boat together. This one's been painted. I'll eventually, these are where the bolts went for the gas-powered motor mount. So I cleaned all those. They're all flat, sanded. I just have to find the paint again for this and fix that. And then I'll probably wet sand this whole thing up. I did have a little accident here, and it chipped a little bit of that, so I might just put some tape up there, fill that back up. I do have this paint for sure. I just don't know where the beige went. I may not have that. And I'll wet sand it, repaint it, and put some decals on it. Haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. But look for future videos. I'm going to go ahead and run this one today, so that video will be out in a few days. But we're going to go out and run this one today and see what she does. I believe it's in the 40-mile-an-hour range on 3-cell, which isn't too bad for a little 23-inch boat. And I believe this is a 38-16 two-blade. I've tried a 35-19, works really well, and I've got a 36-14 or 15 that also works pretty well with this boat. So there you have it. So let's get out to the pond and see what we can do with this, and you'll see that in a future video. Thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, join, be a subscriber if you have a mind to. Love to have you. And give me any suggestions or comments you'd like to see. I think you guys will like watching this boat. One of the other things I will touch on really quick is a lot of people do a lot of different things on their servos for their throttle and steering and all that stuff, or steering. So what I did with this is a Dubro, I believe it's a Dubro, and it's just a brass wire with a connector, threads into a plastic clevis, and then there's a piece of fuel line over the clevis. I've never had any problems with any of these. I've run these on my airplanes for years and years and years. This is a solder clevis, so you solder it on, and I like those. I've never had one come off. So by moving them back and forth, by adjusting them, I've broke them off, but never in flight, obviously. But very heavy duty. There's a little tiny piece of plastic tubing right here that goes through. It's not very long, and this allows it also to bend freely if it needs to bend when the servo's at one extreme or the other. It doesn't need to bend much. And this is also a Futaba 132 high-speed servo as well. I have a few of those left, and I've always used those for throttles on these. Don't need to, but that's just what I have. They're a good size, good fit, and they have nice power, nice torque. So again, thanks for watching. Join, comment, ring the bell, all that stuff. Everybody knows what to do. I don't have to tell you. Thanks for stopping by.